Okay, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and put it at body 1, reason 1 for your title, and page 2. We're going to X our paper because we are writing a rough draft. I'm going to X a little bit now and X later as I go. The beginning of our chart in our journal shows us that we want to write transition and then a reason 1 for body paragraph 1. So you want to find one of your transitions, your transition words that you have in your journal. You should have some. And we're going to use some of the words that are instead of first. I personally am liking the one that says first and foremost, but you can use whichever one makes the most sense to you. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to indent first and foremost. What I need to do next is write down my reason 1, which is online, and it's the first one that I used in my introduction. Whenever you write your intro, you want to make sure that you write about number 1 first in your intro. It's the first body paragraph, and you say it again first in your conclusion. So online education is perfect. And I'm going to write fast for time's sake. Is perfect for students who cannot travel to traditional classrooms. You want to go ahead and write yours to traditional classrooms. Okay, so again, at the beginning you have your first sentence is a transition and then your reason number 1. I'm going to circle my first word so that I make sure I don't repeat myself later. After you have that, you need to go ahead and write down why this is important or how it helps prove your point. What are you trying to prove? I'm trying to prove that we need online education. And one reason is because it's perfect for students who cannot travel to traditional classrooms. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say traveling to school. I'm going to support this. Traveling to school is difficult for some students. Because of their location, disability, or family schedule. Okay? And then you either need, for this part, you either need 1 or 2 sentences. So you're going to have a sentence here, and then this one is either 1 or 2 sentences. I'm going to have 2, but it's not required. You can also have 3 if you want 3. Just make sure that you're not repeating yourself. So having, and this is kind of my why, having a classroom to visit online makes going to school a convenience instead of a hassle. Okay? That's my first 2 steps. The third step in writing this body paragraph is a quote from a credible source. So I have found my research that I've done, and I found a quote, an actual statement that I am going to copy. When you copy, you always want to make sure that you put it in quotation marks. So I'm going to start with according to, and then I'm either going to list my author's full name or the organization's full name. I don't have an author for mine. If you notice on here, there's no author. So I'm going to cite the actual website as, or the organization or the website as my author. If you have an author, you're going to put according to and then the author's first and last name. I don't have an author, so again, I'm going to be putting down my source. According to Illinois Online Network. Now, if you have an author, it would be the author's name here instead, and then you put a comma. You open up your quote, and then you start to copy. The only time you use the quotation marks here is if you are copying exactly. If you've paraphrased, you do not put those quotation marks in, but you paraphrase right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy mine, and mine's kind of long, so bear with me. I would have my quotations because I'm copying, and it says the main. I'm going to write really fast. While I'm working on mine, you should be working on yours. Okay, whenever I have my quote completed, I'm going to not put a period at the end. Because what we need to do now is I'm going to close my quotation. Now, if you did not quote, again, if you paraphrased, you will not have that quotation there. But you will, as well as if you quoted or not, it doesn't matter. You're going to open up a parenthesis. Now, if you have page numbers, your page number goes here. If you don't have page numbers, you put the copyright date. And I don't have page numbers, so I'm going to put the copyright date, and then I put my period. Okay? And the next part, we need to explain the quote. So I have a few different sentence stems to use, and I'm going to use the first one, or a modification of the first one for mine, and we are explaining how this quote supports our main idea for this paragraph. And I'm going to say, basically, this means that online classrooms, I'll flip this page as well. That online classrooms provide the benefits, is mine. So you want to make sure that you're working on yours while I'm working on mine. And again, I'm explaining how that quote helps support my idea. Okay. When I'm finished with that, then I'm going to go back to my research and I'm going to find something else. I'm going to find another quote that helps support my topic. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, now I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to show you how to paraphrase. So I'm not going to do a direct quote. I'm not going to copy anything from my article, from my research. What I'm doing is I've read it and I've learned it, and now I'm going to take that information and put it into my own words. So when you put things into your own words, you don't have to do an open quote or anything like that. But if you are doing a quote, you get to choose. If you do copy, you need to make sure that you start this next sentence off with your open quotations. I'm not doing quotations, so I'm not going to have that. I'm going to paraphrase. And I'm paraphrasing what I learned from my research. Online, there we go. That students literally attend, and you don't need that anymore. Okay. Now again, same thing here. I did not quote, but I'm not going to punctuate down here. If you did quote, you're going to put your close quotations, but I didn't quote, I paraphrased, so I'm still going to do this. Okay, everybody's going to make that. The next thing we need to do, because we didn't have according to or anything like that at the very top, we're actually going to put our author or our source inside the parentheses down here. So again, my source is the same source. If I had a different source, then I would put the different source here. If you have an actual author, just the author's last name goes right here. But again, mine is different. So I have online, mine is the Illinois Online Network is my source. Now if I had page numbers, my page number would go right here. I don't have a page number, so I'm going to put my copyright date, close that, and do that. Notice I don't have anything here except for a space. Regardless of if you have a page number or not, if you just have a page number, instead of this, you would have a number. There's no comma, there's no the word page, nothing like that. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we want to make sure that we do explain this a little bit as well. So I'm going to say a student, can go to school. I'm just supporting it or reinforcing this idea from a if they had to. Okay. Then the very last thing we do is we restate this reason back to the claim, or we relate it back to the claim. We're actually going to use a transition word. You want to pick one that's from the in conclusion section, or another one that you can make up. If you make it up, though, it needs to relate to the ending of something or a restatement of something. So I'm using the word again because I have not used that one yet. And now I'm going to state my claim, my main idea, the big idea of the entire essay. Again, online learning. And I'm going to use a loaded word. Is vital. Stick that in there. Is vital to today's student population. And this is my claim. And you want to put a because here. After your claim is finished, you put a because. Not cause, because. Okay? Because. And then I'm going to state my reason. My same reason that I've been working on for this whole thing. Because of, and I'm rewording it. I always reword things. I'm going to reword my claim. I'm going to reword my reason. There's a million different ways you can say it. But it still means the same thing. Because of its convenience and availability for those unable to attend a traditional, class in a traditional classroom. And with that, as you can see, you have now completed all of these pieces. And you are done with your body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 2 will be written in much the same way. If you notice inside your journals again, you have all the same pieces, just for body paragraph 2, about a different reason.